Welcome to Shelaborate. I'm Kath.
And I'm Kyra. This is our podcast for the girls, from the girls.
We're telling our stories, hyping up women who inspire us, and shelaborating every step of the way.
It's time to give you the girl talk you've been waiting for. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to our next episode. We're going to do a little girl talk, just the two of us, on a trend that we kind of brought back in season 2.
Season 2, we had all of our guests end their episodes with their hot take. And we'll see if we're going to continue that into season 3.
Maybe.
But we wanted to give an opportunity because over the past season, we've come up with a bunch of hot takes that we thought would be really fun to talk about on air. So
we're just going to share a bunch of hot takes with you guys. As always, this is just meant to be fun. We don't mean to call anybody out or offend anybody. If you feel a certain type of way, let us know, and maybe you can change our minds. But I think the point of a hot take is that, like, I've got my mind made up. I know exactly how I feel about this.
The funnier the hot take is, I think the more personal it is to you. Like you're like, what?
That's
like, who else even thinks that? Yeah. So I think that's kind of what makes a really good hot take. And the more bizarre, off the wall they are, the better they are.
Yeah. And I've actually been taking notes on my Shelaborate note page of all of the hot takes that I do have.
Okay, well, I'm ready to hear one of your hot takes, and we haven't heard each other's before, so this will be us blind reacting to each other's hot takes.
Okay, this one is probably one of my biggest hot takes that I've had for a long time that I don't have to think about when I think of hot takes or like what it is. I absolutely despise when people park their cars at the gas pump. The gas pump is not a place to park your car.
Agreed.
It is a place to pump your gas, and then you go put your car somewhere else. If you're going to go into the gas station, go in a parking spot.
I completely agree with you. The other morning, I had to get gas really bad, basically on empty. And then I wanted to go in and get a breakfast sandwich. The gas station that's really close to me, they have very delicious breakfast sandwiches. And so I got my gas, then I went around to the parking area, got out, and went and got my sandwich.
Yes, I think that's what is expected. And it's obviously different if you are paying inside. Obviously, that's completely different. But yeah, if you're just parking your car, that's not a parking spot. I remember one time we were coming back from a training exercise from Fort Campbell. And it was we had the big 15 passenger van. So it was and Buc-ee's is always crazy busy. And so we were in line, and there was this guy that was in front of me, and I could tell. And so I was waiting in line. Everyone in the vehicle had gone in, and he had pumped his gas, and then I could tell was about to shut down and go inside. And I go, "Nuh-uh, sir. You need to move your car." And he looks at me all pouty face and was like, "Oh, everybody's doing it." And I was like, "I don't care. Move. You're moving your car." And he moved.
Because you'll be waiting for forever.
Especially if there's a line. I just think it's rude. I think it's rude.
And yeah, I get it if you need to pay inside. That's
different.
Totally different. But don't be parking your car.
Especially if it's busy.
You know what I always wonder?
What?
Have you ever seen someone put the gas nozzle in their car and then walk away as it's pumping?
Yes. So people don't I think genuinely that specifically is just a lack of knowledge thing, that people don't realize that that's a safety concern.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, not only is it a safety concern, you know what my mind always thinks? I'm like, what if someone else just
takes it,
comes up here,
and fills up their gas?
I don't really know how they would do that, but I mean, maybe if you had a gas can. My mind always thinks that, but also I'm like, wow, you have a lot of trust in the actual gas thing to shut off when it's supposed to, because I have definitely been there and the pump thing isn't working well or whatever. And I'm like, you cannot leave all of these.
Yeah, you're really not supposed to.
Yeah.
And people don't realize
Okay,
that.
I thought that you weren't supposed to, but I see people do that all
the time. And I do think that's less of a, I think that's just an awareness thing. People just aren't aware.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate that.
Are there signs at gas stations that say don't do that?
I don't think so. I don't think it's like a written or unwritten rule. It's like an annoyance of mine. It's a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah. I think it should be a rule. I agree with that one. I think it should be. I also have a parking related one. Okay. And I thought that you were going to say this.
Oh, you're like, oh no.
Yes. Today, Kathleen and I have been like on the same wavelength. On the same wavelength. So I thought for sure you were about to say this. My hot take is that if your vehicle requires you to combat park, i.e., pull in backwards into the parking space, park in the back of the parking lot. You chose that vehicle. Don't inconvenience everyone else in the parking lot because you have to back in. There is so many times I am like in a busy parking lot, and you know when someone has to like pull forward, back in, pull forward, back in to like get their big truck in or their SUV. Or what's even worse for me is when you just have a regular old sedan, but you feel the need for some reason to back into the parking space instead of just pulling in. And it takes you twice the amount of time that it takes me to just pull my car into a parking space. But I have to sit there and watch you backing in. No, go to the back of the parking lot. You chose that vehicle, not me. Stop making me wait for you to back in. When you
say the vehicle requires you to back into it, are there vehicles that require that?
Yeah, so I
always see trucks do it.
I've brought this up before, and people's argument, I'm like, why are people backing into parking spaces? And the argument is always, well, big trucks can't just pull in the same way a sedan or an SUV or something can. So yeah, their trucks literally require them because they're so big. The only way that they can get in
is from the back,
is backing in.
That's a good one.
It's annoying to me. I feel like I'm just like watching this person pull in over and over and over again, and they have no care about how their parking situation is impacting other people. Yeah. Meanwhile, me, if I'm like, oh no, I couldn't get in this spot, I'll drive away because I'm taking too long. I don't want to inconvenience people. And so maybe this is just, maybe it's a me problem, but I don't like people, especially unnecessarily backing in. Like, you have a sedan, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And I think it's big in military communities. That's why I called it combat parking, because they'll always back into spaces, and I'm like, all right guys, this is really wholly unnecessary.
This is real life, not war practice.
You can really, it's TJ Maxx, we can really just pull into the parking lot here, you're gonna be fine. If there is an emergency, the percent chance of you getting in your car and speeding away, regardless of how it is parked,
is not going to happen.
I don't really think this parking lot is going to be so jammed up that's not happening. You're right. It's not realistic, and people have all these weird arguments. Anyways, that's my parking hot take.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't write this down, but I feel like it kind of goes to what you were talking about, when people walk really slowly in airports, or they stop, not even necessarily airports, but they're stopping in the middle of a sidewalk, or they're stopping, really anywhere where there is a clear delineated path of travel, and they're either stopping in there or walking slow. I probably walk too fast in general, and I should probably relax and slow down, but it's this awareness that a lot of people I think don't have, that really just grinds my gears.
Yeah, I actually have a funny story on that.
Okay.
This was one of the top reasons I broke up with someone. I wouldn't say it was the top reasons, but they were an unaware. That was how I described him, is he just kind of never knew what was going on in his surroundings, and people would get visibly mad at him because it would be when you're chatting with friends on the sidewalk, you might run into someone, but if someone's walking on that sidewalk, you scooch out of the way and then you can kind of get back on. He would be completely unaware that someone is trying to walk on the sidewalk or like trying to get around him on an escalator. And it would be like bad enough that I would feel embarrassed because people would be like, excuse me. And then he would be like, oh. And he would always act like they were the problem. And I'm like, you're the problem.
You're the problem.
Like, you were the problem. He was that guy in airports.
Like in airports, like I got somewhere to be.
Yeah. This was all the time.
Yeah.
This was like to the point of like I categorized him in my mind as an unaware
person. You never want to be an unaware person.
I was just like,
for so many reasons.
Come on,
so did
man.
you just wake up? Get with the program.
Like,
I think you made a good decision for a lot of reasons.
I mean, that wasn't the only one, but that was high up there.
As far as I'm concerned, that's a good enough reason.
One of my hot takes is that I can't comprehend when, especially adults, say they don't like any vegetables. My reasoning behind this is, A, everyone needs to be eating vegetables of some kind. Like, I just wholeheartedly believe that. But also, every vegetable tastes very different. So how are you saying that you don't like any vegetables?
Who's saying that?
Or people will be like, oh, I don't eat vegetables. Or like, yeah, people say that.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
None of our friends.
No, none of our friends.
I assure you.
No, none of our friends. But I'll hear people say like, oh, I don't eat vegetables, or like, I just don't like vegetables. And every single time I have to like really fight the urge to be like, well, what ones?
Not a single vegetable.
Yeah, because I'm thinking in my mind like a carrot tastes so different than celery or, you know, a pepper or lettuce. Like they're all very different. And then there's so many different ways of preparing them. Like I get it if you say something like, I don't like cooked celery. Personally, I don't like cooked celery. It's stringy and I don't think it really adds that much to stuff. I could live without it. But like I love regular celery, especially with peanut butter.
Yeah.
They're two completely different flavors. So it blows my mind when people say they don't like vegetables. And I guess my real hot take on this is that they are just not adventurous eaters and they don't try foods, because I'm like, there's no way you've tried every vegetable out there and you don't like them.
Because I feel like also for us, I would consider us probably adventurous eaters. There's vegetables that we haven't had.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I just feel like it's a very immature thing to say, like, I don't like all vegetables.
Yeah, and usually they don't say it like, I don't like all vegetables.
Okay.
They're more like, oh, I don't eat vegetables, or I don't like vegetables. But just the broad categorization of vegetables as a category.
What are your thoughts on someone that would say, I don't like dessert or I don't eat dessert?
I think that is a little bit different in the sense of, I think that's more related to like diet, wanting to eat healthy. Dessert inherently kind of means like unhealthy food. Whereas veggies, I'm like, that is
you like objectively need vegetables.
Yeah. But also like, because I'll say like, oh, I don't really like sweets, which is true, but I still eat desserts.
You still eat,
and I still eat sweets. Like I just ate some ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, the broad categorization is what gets me. I've come to the realization, I think it's more of they're picky eaters. And so they don't want to try new things, or they've tried like a few veggies in the past and they didn't like those. And now they've kind of like written off that category of food and they just prefer something else. I'm mostly talking about adults here. I don't give a crap what you eat. I think it's weird though.
Truly.
I am judging you, but I don't care.
I'm not inviting you to my barbecue.
It's not my problem. If you come to my house, I'm probably going to serve you something that has some veggies. Be warned. Pick around it.
Yeah. And there's something probably to say about a person that's like, I don't like vegetables.
Yeah.
Okay, my next hot take. This is another, I feel like this is a lot of pet peeves. We'll get in, I have other ones that like aren't like pet peeves, but this is a huge pet peeve of mine. People listening to their phones without headphones. Ooh. So like scrolling on Instagram or TikTok in a public place without headphones.
I do this to my husband.
What do you mean?
Like at our house.
That's different.
He never does it.
Does it annoy him?
Probably sometimes.
But I think that is inherent in the fact that two people living together, you're going to do something that.
Yeah.
Whereas In public, I think it's borderline rude.
Oh, yeah. In public, I think definitely no.
Yeah.
But I feel a little guilty on this one because I know sometimes I'll be on the couch full blast,
Yeah,
full sound on.
But that's also your place of residence.
Yeah,
I think that's different. I think when you're in a public space, you need to be more aware of like the things that you're doing, like how they affect other people. I guess the reason I think this is because it was when I was in the academy, and there was someone that sat next to me that would always like scroll, like doom scroll with the sound on. And a lot of the time when I was in there, I'd be like studying for an exam or like trying to be productive. So it was extremely distracting. And I was like, put your freaking headphones on.
Bold of that person. Like, I don't like people knowing like what
I don't
I'm
want
watching.
people to know my algorithm.
Yeah, so when I'm always watching DIY videos, like all kinds of stuff, and I don't want people knowing what I'm scrolling on silent. If you don't have the captions on, I'm not
watching
to
it. That's why I think the captions are really important. But yeah, that's one of my hot takes. And I think it's probably lends itself to like a bigger trends of like be courteous of like what you're doing, how it affects other people. And that's just like so annoying to me.
Okay, we are on the same wavelength because my other one,
oh my God,
is a sound related one. This is so crazy. My hot take is that driving in silence after work is a better decompression than listening to a podcast or listening to music. Driving in silence actually lets you kind of like think about what happened and process the day on your own before you're like home. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm mostly talking about like harder days where you like actually need to process something, but giving yourself deliberate time to process in that drive, I think is better than kind of drowning it out with sound.
Yeah. I think that's really interesting. I have a question, but I remember seeing something online that was like, you know that you've had a really bad day when you just like, you know, 2-hand grip on the steering wheel, don't even touch the like music or anything, and you're just like driving in silence because you like that's how you like really know it was a rough day.
Yeah. I'm definitely someone who gets like auditory like sensory
okay.
overload. Well, yeah, like whatever, overstimulation from like auditory things. Were you ever driving in the car with your parents and they're like turn down the radio
when you park?
And it's like a park or like or like a stressful situation, like you gotta like turn down the radio? That's me. I have like 2 modes where I'm either can pretty much like block out every sound around me with my thoughts, or whatever the sound is like grating on my nerves and it's like distracting me to the point of I can't like function until that sound is gone. And that's like my 2 modes.
Okay.
Or I'm like active listening, I guess, to whatever it is.
Do you think that you felt that way more when you like lived with somebody so that you wanted to process the day before you went home to like, because when I think of like in my situation, I'm more or less like I have the night to process it on my own, whereas like you go home to someone and maybe you don't want to bring home a bad day.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely will talk about stuff with my husband, but I think that I can have like a more kind of nuanced approach to what I'm saying because I have already processed it on my own, come to the conclusions. Now I'm more so like sharing the conclusions of what I've come to
and
with
not
him.
Just venting maybe.
Yeah, not just like overloaded vent, like I'm overwhelmed with this. Maybe 2 weeks ago, I was just having a really bad day and I was really overwhelmed, and me and my husband went to dinner and I was like, do you mind if we just like sit in silence just like for a little bit? And he was like, yeah, sure, sounds good. And so we just kind of like sat there. It was nice to like be with someone, but just be quiet. Like we're not filling this up. We can just sit with our thoughts. I don't know. I think that there's this like feeling that we need to fill up every second with some type of sound or conversation or something. And yeah, my hot take is just silence is sometimes better. I also really like silence, which is why my husband will not he like purposefully doesn't ever scroll with the noise on because he's like very, very, very conscious of it doesn't bug him, but it bugs me if there's like a lot of
he knows that it bugs.
Yeah. And so he walks around with headphones all the time.
That's a green flag. I mean, that's like
so green flag. This is another sound hot take. Ooh. You know how they play the cheering sound on like football games? Like the crowd like, ah, like everyone's screaming.
Okay.
It's basically like static. It sounds like the crowd cheering. Cut that out.
Oh.
Stop playing that over TVs. When I'm in a public space, especially like a restaurant or something, and they have the TV sound on and it's sports games and it's that.
Is that like grind? Is that
I
like
hate it. It's just like the worst sound possible.
That's fair.
And I'm like, why are we broadcasting that?
It's kind of useless sound, right? Like,
yeah, it's like the ambient sound of the game. Totally fine with listening to the broadcasters.
Yeah.
But this is just like the ambient football stadium sound. Which by the way, I'm pretty sure that they like dubbed that in. Yeah. And I'm like, why are you putting that in there?
Well, that was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, is it real or is it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. My hot take is that silence is really, really, really nice.
I agree. We all have those like friends or people that we know that just can't handle silence and like have to fill it. Like sometimes it's good.
It was very nice to be able to say that to my husband. Like, and he wasn't like offended. He wasn't like, did I do something wrong? I was just like, I just want silence. And he was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. That's a good one.
We sat there in silence.
he's like, hey, he like taps you. He's like, hey, can I talk now?
No, but he did say after a while, he was like, just to let you know, I'm not just not talking, because he's kind of quiet. He's like, I'm not just not talking, I'm giving you silence, so just let me know if you want to talk again. And I was like, thanks.
That's so sweet. That like warms my heart. Speaking of another thing that warms my heart, one of my hot takes, I think there's nothing more just beautiful than two guys hugging.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I think it's such a nice like scene. I don't think that men and guys in general show enough affection for their friends without like making it weird. And so seeing like a true like bro hug or two friends or just like for no reason, I just think it's such a nice sight.
I even love like dad and son. Especially once they're like older, like grown son, when like their dad like just gives them like a really good hug. Yeah, I also really do genuinely appreciate
a good guy hug.
A guy hug. We need more guy compliments.
Yes.
That was a takeaway from season 1.
Pump up your friends.
Pump up your friends.
Hug your guy friends.
More guy hugs.
I love guy hugs.
Especially love it when they're so genuine.
It was kind of like when me and Malia told that story about the guy gang that was rooting on their friend. It's just so wholesome.
Yes,
it's so nice. Yeah. So that's one of my feel good hot takes.
Okay, so my other hot take is kind of on the flip side of your guy hug one.
Ooh.
And it's people when you're having like a really good, exciting moment. You're getting married, or you're in a new relationship, or you're expecting a baby, or, you know, all these kind of like really exciting milestone. You're graduating. All of these milestone moments. Why is it that people will always say things like, just wait until blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
It's like, so maybe for a relationship, like some people will say things like, just wait until you have your first fight. They always bring up the just wait until.
It's not all sunshine and roses. You're like, I didn't think that it was. Yeah. Thanks for the reminder.
This isn't really something that I've experienced like a ton of, but I know it exists out there. I think that we should normalize saying things that are like the flip side positive of that.
Or just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, keep it to yourself. There's no need to. And in the midst of someone celebrating something happy or exciting or new, to bring up like the cautionary, just wait until.
Totally. I have a story about that. I remember, and it was always the same type of person that would have this response. So when I told people when I was getting out of the military, like what I wanted to do, and I was like, oh, I want to be a first responder. Like I really want to be a paramedic. And they're like, oh, that's going to be really hard. Or like, do you think you can handle that? Or like, think of all the things and the people that you have to deal with. And I'm like, what a weird response to someone telling you about what they want to do with their lives, to bring up something that's negative about it because they've maybe had one conversation with a person that's been, for example, a paramedic before. Like, you don't know anything about it and you know less about me. So why do you even have any other thing to say than that's great?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. There's always people who will say like, just wait until, and then this negative thing. And I'm like, you know how crazy different it would be if the norm was, you know, you say you really want to be a paramedic and they're like, just wait until you are able to like save that first life.
Yeah, totally.
You'd be like, oh my gosh, not only is this so consequential in that person's life, but I can't wait to do this thing. Or like new relationships, instead of saying, just wait till you have your first big fight. Imagine if that person said something like, just wait until you experience someone who really loves you, showing you grace if you accidentally make a mistake. That's like a totally different conversation and totally different level of support. New parents, instead of like, just wait until the terrible twos. Okay, you have literally no way of preventing that. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like saying things like, just wait until you experience the love that you're gonna have for your kids.
Yeah. Why don't we do that?
So
yeah.
different. There's so many just waits that people could say, but instead they always bring up the negative. So my hot take is stop doing that.
That's a good one.
But also flip the script on it. Like, just wait until. And I think that when people have those milestones, it's a really good opportunity to bring up those like, just wait until positives. This is the part 2 of this hot take. It's way easier to talk about negative experiences than positive ones because we can all relate to like being tired or being overwhelmed or being whatever negative feeling, but it's way harder to like put into words the love that a couple has or like the love a parent has for their child. So instead of saying like, just wait until you have this amazing thing, we say, just wait until you're so tired you can't see straight.
Yeah.
Because it's easier. Everyone can relate to that.
That's true.
Even if they haven't experienced it. So my challenge is to all of our listeners, try to put a positive spin on things because I think that it will uplift people. It will really help people who are, I think those milestone moments are really big transitions. And hopefully they'll be able to look back at that and be like, oh yeah, just wait until this really awesome thing.
Yeah.
Versus,
because no one's in that moment, like the quote unquote negative moment, being like, oh my God, this person warned me about that.
No.
What's way more uplifting is being in that negative low moment and thinking of the positive things and thinking of, okay, it's bad right now, but like, these are the great things I'm getting out of like whatever scenario it is.
yeah.
And yeah, we do spend too much time thinking about the negative things.
It's way too easy to think about the negative.
Yeah.
So my hot take is positivity rules, and I hope
Negativity sucks.
Negativity sucks. No more negativity.
Okay, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think this is one of the biggest flexes. Typing fast.
Oh, interesting.
I just think there's such a like a flex of just being like and just like freaking flying through
Especially
a paragraph.
if you have like some nails.
Ugh.
Not too long of nails.
Not too long because that actually makes it very difficult to type.
But like just a little click clack.
I just think that's such a flex.
I agree. That might be the officer in both of us.
Someone did mention that to me. They're like, "You're a really fast typer." I'm like, I know. And I do maybe. I mean, half the officer in me, half the way that I was raised, where like my parents had us do like the Mavis Beacon like video games, and I loved that.
Hot take on the nails.
Okay.
On the topic of nails. Too long of nails, I think, is unsanitary.
Yeah, totally.
I love getting my nails done. I think it's like one of the best ways to like kind of pamper yourself, make yourself feel good, feel like really put together. But sometimes when I see people with super, super, super long nails, I am always like, how do you keep it clean under there? One of my things that really grosses me out if I see someone with dirty nails. Yeah. I really don't like that.
And I think it's less about having it because like the glue and the stuff that like binds, because obviously those aren't natural, right? Like it has to be glued to your nail. Like you can't get in all of those spaces.
Yes, and it's like a little bit thicker. So I'm like, I think that that's like a sanitation.
There's also
thing.
so many questions that I have because I would say the longest nail that I've had, I like went obnoxious, but it was like maybe here.
Like maybe a quarter inch away from your finger.
Yeah, maybe a quarter inch, maybe half an inch tops. And there's just so many things that I felt like I couldn't do.
Yeah.
I couldn't type. I can't play guitar.
Can't put on jewelry, that's for sure.
Can't put on jewelry.
For me, like, I think the can't do things, that's on the individual person.
Totally.
I just worry about like the sanitation
Yeah.
of it. But particularly if I see like in a restaurant setting or
Oh, yeah.
like food prep or anything like that, or when I see people eating with really long nails, I'm always like, are those clean? I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they like use like a scrub brush or something like that.
Yeah, but you know
scrub
most
them.
people aren't.
But I'm like, guys, hand washing's very important.
Very important.
Sanitation is very important.
She like writes on the board where it's like employees must wash their hands, and then you add a little thing like plus people with long nails must wash their hands.
I don't know. I guess it's honestly none of my business, but I love a clean hand.
You love
always
a clean hand.
carrying around my hand sanitizer.
Especially if they're making your food.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we're sacrificing like cleanliness for like a fashion trend.
Yeah.
And that freaks me out.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, this isn't my hot take, but I think it's a hot take on somebody else's hot take. It came from Caitlin.
I thought you were about to say I'm not going to say who because your face was like a little bit sneaky. And then you go, it came from Caitlin.
This is a hot take that I know people have. I don't want to say looking down upon people, but people have a big opinion about shredding their own cheese versus buying shredded cheese. And
Yes.
people feel very, very strongly about that. And I think since, Caitlin berated me for having shredded cheese, I have tried to shred my own cheese, but like I'm not against buying shredded cheese. What are your thoughts?
First off, I love the video of Caitlin.
Oh,
the shred your own cheese video.
Let me see if I can bring it up.
After a night out on the town, I think she came back to your house.
And we were making mac and cheese.
And she was telling you to shred your own cheese. And I woke up in the morning to that video.
Really?
Of her saying shred your own cheese. And I thought it was so funny. I was cry laughing. Parmesan cheese, I think you should shred yourself. Mozzarella, it's going to be really hard to shred that.
You can't really shred mozzarella, I feel.
You could cut it up, kind of. I mean, you could shred it. You
we'd
could
have
if you really wanted to. Cheddar cheese, shred it. I tend to buy blocks of cheese because it's cheaper and you get more.
Yes.
Particularly with Parmesan cheese.
But mine always goes bad really quick, I feel.
So when I was living by myself, I preferred to buy bags of cheese because I could like use it quicker. But now I live with someone who eats a lot of cheese. We both like cheese. So it doesn't go bad. But if I was living by myself, probably I would be buying more bags of cheese.
That's a good point.
In our household, we buy kind of a mix of both.
Yeah.
And it just depends on the type of cheese and which one. But for me, it's more of a convenience thing. I do think that Caitlin has a point when she says they add preservatives and stuff to like make it not stick together.
I just think it's an interesting food to pick because there's so many preservatives in like all of the food that we have that like, and I totally get like avoid it when you can.
Sure.
I totally get that mindset, but it's just an interesting.
I think it depends on the cost savings and the flavor for me.
Yeah.
I think I save a lot of money with shredding my own Parmesan, and the flavor is a lot better.
It is.
Way better.
It is. And
I can't tell the difference though for like cheddar cheese.
No,
I
not
can't.
really.
Also, I don't really like cheddar cheese that much, so.
And sometimes I like having blocks of cheese, so having the actual and like eating like a piece of cheese versus yeah. I have a hot take on another person's hot take.
Okay.
I have a really big hot take on people having opinions about other people's body hair.
What?
Yeah.
What opinions do people have on body hair?
Like, oh, you shouldn't. I'm not attracted to body hair therefore you shouldn't have that body hair. Oh. That might be too niche and way too specific.
I don't think that you should be commenting on that.
I don't think you should be commenting it. Maybe I'll tell the example.
Okay.
I have a little happy trail.
So do I.
And I'm obsessed with it.
I think everyone does.
I think everybody does. I've never been inclined to shave it because I like it. And if you want to shave it, that's cool. But I don't shave mine. But yeah, I dated someone that was like, I don't like that hair there. And I was like, okay, I don't frankly care. And I don't think he was expecting me to answer like that. And then he realized that it's massively inappropriate to comment about stuff like that.
Yeah. I think that that's kind of an interesting hot take because people definitely have preferences.
Yes, which you're allowed to have. You're allowed to have a preference.
Yeah, people definitely have preferences, but I think it's interesting, at least for me personally, that my preferences are more shaped around like either what I personally do to my own body, like as far as like what I think gals should do, because it's like what I'm doing.
Or comfortable. Or, what's comfortable, what works for me.
Exactly. I'm like, this is what works for me and this is what I prefer to do for me. So like that's how my opinions on like gal hair kind of goes.
Sure, yeah.
But ultimately, I don't care because it doesn't affect me. And then for like what I think about in guys, I'm like, that has been like fully shaped around my husband because I adore him and I like whatever his preference is that makes him feel most comfortable and feel like most confident. That's what I prefer.
And that's what I just can never imagine. Yeah. Even if I was with someone that did something that I didn't quote unquote prefer, I could never imagine being like, that's gross. Which actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure was this guy's response.
He said that's gross.
Was like, ew.
Well,
I'm not gonna touch down or kiss down there. I'm like, then don't.
Yeah. Probably a good indicator that that wasn't the right guy. A lot of people will ask me my opinion on my husband's mustache and if I want him to shave it. First off, I love his mustache.
Yeah,
He's had it. He got it like shortly after we started dating. He was like trying to grow it when we were dating and then got it after we were dating. So
he's had it the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much the whole time.
Okay, so he's shaved it though before.
Yeah, like I've seen him without a mustache, but I love his mustache. Like to me, it's part of part of him. But people will often ask me like, do you want him to shave that? Maybe if I said something to him, maybe he would, because I know that he really like values and cares about me and wants to like make me happy. But I am like, that is so weird to me that people continuously will ask me if I want him to get rid of his mustache. And I'm like, no, I love it. First off. But second off, he really likes it. And I think he looks handsome with it.
Yeah.
Like, why would I tell my husband to do something with his facial hair? Like he doesn't tell me how to style my hair. He doesn't tell me like to pluck my eyebrows or shave my armpits. Why do I have the right to tell him about his facial hair, what he should do with it?
Yeah, I think that's interesting because I feel I've definitely been guilty of asking like women that about their partner's like mustache, mostly because I'm just curious because I also like like I like facial hair. So it's kind of like, hey, but yeah, I don't think it's anybody's business to have an opinion on somebody else's insert anything here, but particularly facial hair or body hair, whatever. And I think it goes kind of both ways of like, he if you told him to shave his mustache, he would in a heartbeat, but you never would. And that's why he would. So it's like,
it's like this weird dichotomy.
It's like almost a respect thing. Whereas like, I know you would, but I would never ask you to do that.
Yeah. I think it's when you're really actually care about someone, if you ask them to do the thing, they would do it because they like trust that you have their best interest and and that you like wholly love them. Yeah. Versus like you trying to change someone to fit a mold that now you can care about and like. Yeah. There's two totally different things here. That is a good hot take. That is interesting though. Yeah. And I know people have preferences.
You can have preferences.
Yeah. I really wonder how those conversations do go respectfully and like how that works when your preference doesn't match up with the person. Like, does that mean like this this can't be the person for you? Or do you kind of come to a middle ground maybe? Like,
yeah. Or it's like, I like facial hair, but I have really sensitive skin. So when we like kiss it, you know, that's like a different conversation. But yeah. And I think if you care about someone, like you want someone to find you attractive. So like if they're into this, it would be like, yeah, like I'll cut my hair because I want them to to be attracted or to me or whatever. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's totally different if it's purely aesthetic.
Yeah.
You don't like a unibrow because you think people shouldn't have a unibrow and you want them to not have a unibrow. But like there's no reason to like have them change the way that they look other than you don't want them to have a unibrow or, you know, or thick eyebrows or thin eyebrows or whatever. That is like a totally different conversation, I think, than like, I'm interested in trying something that like maybe this gets in the way of. This is uncomfortable for me because your facial hair is scratching me. That's totally different than I just don't like the way that you look and I want you to change how you look for me to please me.
Yeah, which is different.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are certain things I don't think you get opinions on, and I think body hair is one of them.
Yeah. Interesting topic. I didn't expect that as a hot take. Yeah.
So hot take being, we should re-normalize inconveniencing yourself in order to show up for somebody else. And I've been seeing this on Instagram a lot lately, and I think there's a little bit of truth to it in that we've put a lot of emphasis around boundaries, and I think boundaries are so important just in order to like keep relationships. But I think we use boundaries as almost like a cop out or an excuse to maybe not show up for the people in our lives.
Yeah, I think that we've talked a lot about boundaries on this show and the importance of them. So take everything that we're saying with some nuance here. Because
Context.
We're not saying that we disagree with boundaries at all.
This is a super nuanced conversation. So obviously it's not like every scenario, but you may be some examples that I can think of. Like, I've had a bad day, but someone that I care about needs to vent. And maybe I don't think I have the emotional capacity, but like, I'm going to figure out how to get that capacity in order to be there for my friend. Or I have a headache one day, but it's someone's birthday party. And unless I'm like truly incapacitated, like I'm going to show up for that person because it's important to them. And I think that's kind of where the line is.
When we use boundaries in that way, I'm sorry, I'm not in the place to show up for you. That is kind of the opposite of what you need from friendships. That support system that you're going to in those really like tough, hard moments, those are supposed to be the people who are like, they're coming no matter what.
Yeah.
They're the people who are showing up no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, all those videos and stuff that's like, no one's coming to save you. And they're like, no, someone is coming to save me.
Yeah, truly. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, that person is coming no matter what.
I think friendship and a lot of relationships are intuitively, you have to be sacrificial and you have to sacrifice maybe some of your comfort, your time, your comfort in order to be there for someone, because I think that's what friendship is. And I think that's kind of what good friendships are like built on, is like, you know that someone's going to be there for you, even if it's maybe not easy for them, and vice versa. So I think there is a little bit of like sacrifice and discomfort in having friendships anyway. So maybe that's a way to put it, is like, friendship does mean sacrifice.
I think that's also how you like build really strong bonds with people. In those moments when they need you, you are the one who's showing up.
Yeah.
Even if it's hard for you, especially if it's hard for you. Now, I do think that part of the nuance to this conversation is, if you are thinking in your mind like, no, I need to set some boundaries because this person is draining me.
There's no balance. Yeah. I don't get anything from that. Like,
this has to be a scenario where it's like cups are being filled both ways. It's not like you are the pitcher pouring endlessly into someone else and you're never getting filled back up. That's fundamentally not going to work as a friendship. I would argue that I don't know if you're friends with that person.
That's a good boundary.
Yeah, like
good boundary.
Good boundary. You probably need to keep that. And maybe that's what people are referring to when they're like setting these boundaries and stuff.
It's like, oh, actually, maybe you're just not a good friend. So maybe that hot take kind of boils down to friendship friendship requires sacrifice, and it requires sacrifice of your time, sometimes your comfort, sometimes your not well-being, because I don't think you should ever sacrifice your well-being, but like, even if I don't think I can handle something, but my friend needs me, figure it out. And maybe we're very, being in the army and being a leader, that's just something that we got used to, of like, you put everybody else in front of yourself.
Yeah.
But I think friendships require that.
Yeah, maybe it is how we were trained. A leader that I really respect and really, really like, one of the things that he said to me early on in my career was, Kyra, you will always have 5 minutes to listen and help anyone. He was like, it does not matter how busy you will ever be. He was like, you could be the most busy you have ever been. You could have the president on the other line. It will always be acceptable for you to make 5 minutes to help someone else out. And I've like taken that to heart, and I love helping people like in general, but I will catch myself thinking that like, I always have 5 minutes to help someone. And sometimes it literally only is 5 minutes. But the point is, you can always dig deep and help someone no matter what my situation is. And that is hard. And maybe that's like a me not setting boundaries, like of helping people when maybe I shouldn't always be. In the context of this hot take, I don't really think that it's ever like the wrong answer to show up for someone.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if your reason is like intrinsic to you of, I feel tired, so I don't want to show up for this person. But it has nothing to do with anything that this person has done to me.
Yeah.
No, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
You need to get over yourself.
Show up anyway. Oh, that's actually maybe another good segue. Just as something that I thought of. Kind of a hot take, more of just like a don't be like this. Pointing out things that somebody can't change in like a couple minutes. I think that there might be a place for lying. If we were out together and we just met at a bar or met at a restaurant and you're like, how does my outfit look? And I maybe in a situation where you could have changed would have been like, maybe let's try something else. But if you couldn't change and it was going to like hurt your feelings, I would straight up lie. I'd be like, you look so good.
I don't know if I would lie per se, but I would focus on other things. Do you feel good in it? Like, I don't know.
Okay,
like, I'd probably try to come
something
up with
else.
something like that. I think that you can always say something honestly that is genuine. Because I think if I had to just like boom lie on this, but like if someone's outfit like really truly isn't looking good, downplay that. Like, we don't need to focus on it and focus on something else.
I think I would lie. I think I would lie. I think that's maybe my hot take then. If somebody asked me my opinion on something that my honest opinion would hurt their feelings and they couldn't change it, I'm gonna lie.
If I got forced into answering the question, if there's like no way I can like,
you're like, girl, come on.
Yeah, if they're like, no, seriously, the outfit, like this shirt right now, what does it look like on me? They would know at that point. They would know,
and maybe we can laugh about it.
This is a crazy scenario. Like, I'm getting interrogated at the bar.
Crazy
over someone's outfit,
someone's shirt. Okay, I have one more. I think I might be in the minority in this one.
Ooh, okay.
I despise automatic sinks at gas stations, at restaurants. I don't think sinks should be automatic because that never works. Automatic sinks never work. You're sitting there, you're like trying to find just where the sweet spot is, and you're getting like 3 drops, and then it turns off again, and your hands are all soapy, and then you can't find it. It's a nightmare. I hate them.
The other day at a gas station, they had automatic soap, automatic sinks, and automatic hand dryers.
Yes.
I get the soap. The soap works incredibly.
Yes.
Like, honestly, too good. Like,
soap
too
usually
much.
works.
Too much soap. I go to use the sink. I cannot get it to turn on. A weird amount of time of me standing in there like, come on, like, please work. I can't get it to work. In my mind, though, I am just so used to the routine of soap, hand wash, hand dry. I walk over to the hand dryer with just the soap on my hands and it goes everywhere. Like,
was it like the foamy soap?
Yes,
oh no, it was like bubbly.
It was the foamy soap. So like no big deal, but it just like whoosh, like goes everywhere. It's like, all over me. And this other lady right then, she has soap on her hand. And I'm thinking, oh, she's not going to be able to get this. The sink immediately comes on for her. So I just look like a crazy lady that walked over, got soap, and then blew it all over the
I don't know what we're doing wrong.
I don't know.
But I hate it. And I don't think sinks should be automatic.
I don't know, but when I did that, I had to scurry out of there because I was like,
I cannot be seen here. I cannot be here.
Yeah.
I can never get them to work.
I don't know how to make them work either. I'm always struggling. And the crazy thing is, there's always someone in there who can get them to work.
Figuring it out, but it's not me.
No, it's never me. I'm always doing some weird dance, trying
I'm
all of
literally
them.
doing like the Macarena, trying to like figure out how to do this. God, it's so annoying. Okay, those are all my hot takes.
No, that's a lot of good hot takes.
Those are mine.
I don't think you're a minority on the sink one.
You think so? Okay,
No.
That's actually what I want to know the most about that one. If people agree with that or not. If you guys think that automatic sinks are a good part of society or not. Because I strongly think no.
So I think that all of these hot takes close out season 2. We did it.
Did you think we were going to get here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I did. Thanks for listening to all of our season 2 episodes and sticking with us through season 1. We have learned so much throughout these 2 seasons, and we're super excited to continue on with season 3.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. The people that have been there from day one, the people that have listened to all the episodes, or maybe if you're new to the podcast and just listened to a couple, we appreciate each and every one of you, and we're so excited to spend some more time making episodes.
And if you want to show some support for the podcast, best way to do that, it's totally free to like, comment, share, anything that will boost our algorithm and help it reach a bigger audience. So until next time.
Next season.
Yeah, next season.
Yay! I will see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Shelaborate. We can't wait to bring you more episodes.
Don't forget to follow, like, and drop us a review. Our episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Patreon.
If you liked the show, post it on your social media and pass it along. Women supporting women is the whole point.
We'll be back next week with more opinions, more stories, and more Shelaboration.
Until then, I'm Kath.
And I'm Kyra. This podcast is for the girls.